Okay, so hello, assalamu alaikum students. This is your teacher Azkabat. I teach accounting and business to the O levels and A level students. Okay, so students, in the previous video, we were talking about the absorption costing and we discussed some methods of it. Uh, Not methods, actually, the steps of it. And it was apportionment, allocation, apportionment, and reapportionment, and the final method was absorption. Okay, so I had told you that about the allocations and the apportionment. So today we will discuss about the reapportionment and absorption. Okay, so for like if we are following these four methods, so we have to make a sheet and its name, actually I just made in the last, so I just thought that I should construct it before I take class. Okay, so overhead analysis sheet. So these four steps of absorption costing, we have to make a sheet and which name is the overheads analysis sheet, and we will discuss about each and every method of absorption costing in this overhead analysis sheet. Okay, so what is going on this? Actually, we have some fixed overheads, we have some direct cost and direct labors, and we are discussing about the each and every step of absorption accounting, and we will discuss that how will we calculate all the um, stop. Start. Okay, students. So we are going to talk about the allocations, apportionment, reapportionment. Basically, these four steps, that how will we calculate all steps in our sheet, our overheads analysis sheet. Okay. So first of all, we are going to discuss about this particular method, this particular step, which is allocations. Okay, so I already told you about the allocations. Allocation means that specific cost should be charged to a specific cost centers. Okay, it means that we have four departments over there. Four departments over there. Number one department is assembly. Number two department is stitching, canteen, and repair. We know that assembly and stitching both are production department. Okay, canteen and repair both are service department. So in the first step, which is allocation, what will we gonna do is we follow, I should write the step one first. Step one, step one is about the allocation. Maybe I should write simple allocation. Okay. So our first step to make overhead analysis sheet is allocations. So what we have to do in allocation? Okay, so what we have to do in allocation basically, in allocation, we will charge specific cost to specific department. Okay, so what type of cost you will think that are specific cost? So we have specific cost, like we have two specific costs basically. The first one is direct labor. The first one is direct labor, and the second one is direct material. Okay, so we know that there are maybe some laborers who are working in assembly, stitching department, canteen department, and repair department also. There are few boys who may be working in canteen to serve food to stitching department and assembly department. And there are also some boys, some workers may be working in repair department who may be helping out to stitching department and assembly department. Okay, so it is very obvious that if like we have direct labor costs, so it is very easy for us to allocate these specific costs to the different departments, between the different departments. Like if we have direct labor cost of assembly workers, so we can easily identify and we can easily put those costs into the different departments. Okay, so these type of costs is called allocation. Allocation means we just have some kind of specific cost, some cost related to assembly, which is cost related to the direct labor, some cost may be for the stitching department, some cost may be for the canteen, for the repair, only direct labor and direct material cost. So what we can do, we just like put these costs into their respective departments. Okay, so this is the thing we can do in allocations. Okay, so maybe assembly has some direct labor cost, stitching department has also direct labor cost because there are different workers working in the stitching department also, and there are also some workers working in the canteen department, so their cost would be go to the canteen department. And repair department has also some workers working in their department, so their direct labor cost will be transferred to the repair department. And this will same goes to the direct material. Like some material may be used in assembly department, in stitching department, in canteen department, in repair department also. So we just put those direct material costs into different departments, into their respective departments. Okay, so our allocation part is done in our first step. If you want to see the 4 steps of absorption costing, so I can take you there. So you can see the first step of absorption costing is allocation, and which we just done. And the second the step of absorption costing is apportionment. Okay, so I actually had told you about the apportionment, that what is apportionment. Apportionment means that common cost should be spread between departments on fair basis. It means that different departments, like there are a lot of common cost which I discussed earlier, like depreciation of equipment. It is also fixed overhead and it is common cost, which may be occurring by all the departments, but we don't know that which department may be occurring. Uh, we cannot say that how much depreciation should be charged to the different departments. So employees related costs like canteen supervision, medical and welfare costs, so these all are common costs, are fixed overheads. And power, electricity, heat, lighting costs, so there are a lot of cost which is going on, which is occurring in the factory. So we were discussing about the fair basis. Like, what is fair basis? Fair basis means that if we are dividing depreciation, like fixed overhead depreciation cost to the different departments, so we would use some fair basis to spread these costs to the different departments. And fair basis you should know whenever you will solve any type of question which is related to apportionment. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the apportionment now. So the second step of absorption costing is apportionment. So what kind of thing we are going to do is we just put some, like we just take out some common cost and we would spread those common costs between the different departments on the fair basis. So that is why you can see that I just put one line for basis of apportionment. So this is the basis which we are going to discuss about. Okay, so there are different common costs which is occurring in our factory, and these costs could be depreciation of equipment, because there are working four departments, like there are four departments working in our factory. The number one is assembly department, the number two production department is stitching department, and these two is service department. So depreciation is basically related to these four, because some machinery and some you can say that some loose tools, maybe some machinery and some furniture used by these four departments. So this is our fixed overheads. Basically, depreciation is our fixed overheads. So that is why we are doing this apportionment. So in apportionment, we are going to divide the depreciation cost among these four departments. Okay. So first of all, like I would say that we have different kind of fixed overheads in our 1 year. Okay. So I would say that there is basically in apportionment, we are dividing the common cost. Okay, so that's why I am writing over here common cost. Okay, common cost. So let's say we have common cost like fixed overhead is rent and rates. So we know that we are paying a specific amount of rent in each month. But There are four departments constructed. There are four departments basically lie on the factory floor and which may be capture different floor areas. So different floor areas would be given by the examiner in square feet. And they will give you different number of square feet for each and every department. Maybe they examiner would tell you that assembly department capture 400 square feet. Knitting department means stitching department as per our example. Knitting department captures 300 square feet. Canteen department capture 200 square feet. And repair and maintenance department captures 300 square feet. So it means that if our rent is $4,000, so we should divide this $4,000 rent to each and every department as per fair basis. And what its fair basis is square feet. An examiner would give us these square feet in exams, so you should not worry about the different amount or different number of square feet. The one thing you should know that which type of fixed overhead is capture different types of fair basis. So you should know only about the fair basis, that if we have depreciation of equipment, so what fair basis we should use in our question when we are doing the apportionment part for absorption costing. Okay. So I just made this table and I already discussed this table in my previous class. So that is why I am not going to discuss this thing again. So that's why I think we should go to the real thing, the real question, which is our topic for today, is apportionment. Okay, so if rent and rates would be given by the examiner in our fixed overheads, so what type of basis of apportionment we would use is the floor area. How will you calculate the rent, fixed overhead, and how would you divide your total rent to the different department is basically by this method. And I already discussed this method to the previous class actually. Okay, so first of all, there is a formula of apportionment. The formula is department base, total base, and total rent, means total fixed overhead. Okay, so examiner would give you the department base, that each and every department, how much floor area captured by the each and every department. Okay, so what you have to do is you just calculate these 4 square feet and it will give you your total base. Okay, so you can see that assembly department capture 400 square feet. It means that we should put 400 square feet in the department base, and we will multiply this. The total rent is $40,000, and we would divide these two on the total base, and total base is 1200 square feet. You just need to add all these square feet areas. all the departments, cafeterias, assembly, knitting, canteen, and repair and maintenance. So this is the thing we like. This is the calculation for working. We just um, like production one department rent is 13,333. Production 2 is 10,000 and service 1 is 6,666. 66. So what we can do is we just um, carry these amounts and put to their respective department. Okay. So this is the thing we can do. Okay. So this is the calculation for the rent. So this is the same calculation we can do for all the fixed overheads like heat and light. Heat and light. So heat and light fixed overhead cost would be give you in the exam. And what we can do is we just follow this step again and again, again and again. So one thing we just need to remember is the fair basis of different fixed overheads. Just you need to remember the fair basis. So when you will remember these fair bases, so things will be so much easy for you, and you can easily do the apportionment step in the absorption costing. So heat and light. So we have a fixed overhead which is heat and light. And what type of fair base for this apportionment we can use is also floor area. So we just do this calculation, this. So by doing this calculation, we will come to know that how much rent should assembly department pay and how much amount of rent should be stitching department pay, and same goes to canteen and repair. Basically, in absorption costing, we are dividing different fixed overheads to the different departments. So at the end, we can know that what is the total amount of cost of producing multiple production products. So we are like discussing just the format. So that is why I am not doing any question right now. But when this class will over, so in the next class, I will bring some juicy question for you from the past papers. So we just repeat the previous question again and again whenever we are doing this part, this step of absorption costing. Okay, so like if you have insurance of machinery in your question as a fixed overhead, insurance Insurance of machinery. So we know that this is our fixed overhead cost, and there are a lot of machinery may be using by different departments. It could, like, it is also, it doesn't mean that production department, like there are two production department in our question, in our format. So it doesn't mean that some machinery is just used by these two departments. Canteen maybe is also using different machines, and repair, of course. Repair and maintenance department also has some of machines. So it means that insurance of machinery fixed overhead cost would be divided into different departments according to what? According to their fare basis, and what type of fare basis we should use in according to the insurance of machinery. It is net book value of machinery. So net book value of machinery, examiner would give you this net book value of machinery in your question. As I already said to you, that all the fare basis of different fixed overhead cost would be given by your examiner in your exams, in your questions. So you will have four net book value of machinery in your question. The first one for assembly, the second one for stitching, and the third one for canteen, and the fourth one for repair. So what can you do is you just add all these four, and this will give you total net book value of machine. And what you can do is, after that, you can use this formula, apportionment formula. You will put your total insurance here, your each and every net book value of machinery would be given by the examiner in your exams for each department. So you should put those amount here, and will divide it by the total base. So what is total base? Total base means you would have different net book values for different departments. So what you can do is you just all add all net book value of machinery. So you will have total net book value of machinery. And by this, you will come to know about the different departments insurance of machinery, like this, and you will just put those amount here in each and respective department. Okay, so this is very simple. We just need to follow this formula, apportionment formula. So things will be so much easy for you. You just need to remember the fare basis for each and every fixed overheads. This is the thing you should need to remember. And there is nothing like so much difficult in this step of absorption costing. Okay. So for example, for if you will have depreciation of machinery, So which fair base we should use for the depreciation of machinery is, I already discussed this chart with you. So if examiner would give you the cost, so you should use this. And if there is no cost given, so you should use net book value. And if there is no net book value given, so you should use machine hours. So these three fair bases we can use if we want to distribute of this depreciation among all four departments. When you will follow this formula, so you will have depreciation for each and every department, depreciation amount for each and every department. So you just need to put those amount to here in each and every department. So this is how we just distribute all fixed overheads to the different departments, and this is the meaning of apportionment. In apportionment, what we are doing is we have some fixed overheads, and we are just dividing. We have just few of common cost, and we are dividing those common costs to the different departments on the fair basis. Okay. So after that, what you are going to do is you just need to add this direct labor, direct material to these all common cost of like fixed overheads. You just need to total it. You just need to total it here. Direct labor, direct material, direct labor and direct material, and all these common cost, which we just calculated. Like, we just understand the format of this. So it will give you some total amount, of course. So why I am writing this here? Because there is a name of this total amount. So what we have now, we have allocated allocated and apportioned overheads. Why we are calling this amount allocated and apportioned overheads? Because we just follow the allocation step here. We add direct labor and direct material into different apportioned overheads. Allocated and apportioned apportioned overheads. Okay. So this total amount would be called allocated and apportioned overheads. Okay. So what we did till now is, first of all, we use the first method of absorption costing, which is allocations. In allocation, we just we have some kind of specific cost, and which is related to direct labor and direct material. So what we do in this step is we just send these specific costs to the specific departments. Like there are different workers working in the canteen, different workers working in the repair and maintenance department, different workers working in the stitching and assembly department. So we have cost of direct labor. So we just, what we do is in allocations, we just send different direct labor cost to the different departments. And same we did in the direct material, because different material is using by different departments. So there is no, you can say that, confusion between these two, because we know that the type of repair and maintenance department using the direct material will be not used by any department. So it is very easy for us to know the exact amount, exact cost of different departments, if it is about the allocations, if it is about the direct labor and direct material. But in apportionment, we have some common cost, which is rent rates, heat and light, insurance of machinery, depreciation of a machine, and there are other, like, so many overhead costs. So we don't know that, if we are talking about the electricity, so we don't know that how much electricity used by different departments. So in this method, in this thing, we use the second step of absorption costing, which is apportionment. And in apportionment, what we do is we just divide the common cost into different departments on the fair basis. And after that, we just calculate the allocated amount and the apportioned amount, and we have now allocated and apportionment overheads. Okay, so we have other two steps now in our overhead analysis sheet, which is reapportionment and absorption. So we would discuss these two steps in the next class.